The shuttle Endeavour was first launched into space 20 years ago. It logged nearly 300 days in orbit. Now the retired craft has made its way through the streets of Los Angeles.
We have team coverage from Valley View News reporters Tasnim, Hanafy, and Emily Davies. Tasnim is in the newsroom with more.
It was quite a long weekend with constant delays, but it was a great celebration. Emily Davies and I followed the Endeavour as it moved through Los Angeles.
You may have thought seeing a space shuttle atop a Boeing 747 was an impressive sight. It was, but the second half of its homecoming travels was another thing entirely. The Endeavour spent about a month at LAX airport. Around 2 o'clock in the morning on October 12th, it starts making its way out of the airport and through city streets to its permanent home at the California Science Center. The shuttle has a wingspan of 78 feet and a body length of 122, making for an exceptionally difficult endeavor. It took 9 months of planning and coordination to remove signs, trees, light posts, and other obstructions, as well as fortifying streets to take on the weight of the shuttle.
We then laid over 2,700 metal plates, each of them weighing over 3,000 pounds, totaling more than 9 million pounds of steel to protect the streets of Los Angeles.
The venture has rung up quite a bill, too, but donors like Linda Ocean and her late husband's foundation gave generously.
It's my husband's love: astronomy, space, travel, math, children, inspiration. It's everything that he loved rolled into one.
The Science Center has received about half of its $200 million fundraising goal. This will pay for Endeavour's trip from Florida, building a temporary hangar, and constructing a new permanent building for the shuttle called the Samuel Ocean Air and Space Center. The first leg of Endeavour's trip was only about 1.5 miles, but it took the shuttle nearly 6 hours to reach its first stop, going at no more than 2 miles an hour. Head of the Science Center, Jeff Rudolph, traveled along with Endeavour and says this is more than just a shuttle.
Kids wanting to become astronauts, wanting to study science, and that's what we're really in this for.
Despite the early hours, people crowded the sidewalks to catch a glimpse of history.
There's a lot of people that are missing this because they're sleeping, but they should be here, and it's great because this is like history. It's history, and we're part of it.
Now the shuttle Endeavour is going to stay here for about 9 hours before it gets back on its road trip to the California Science Center. And that's when we're going to meet up with Tasnim.
This crowd in Inglewood is trying to wake up and keep warm to watch history as the Endeavour shuttle crawls 12 miles through the city on its 26th and final mission.
I am excited. It's a beautiful orbiter. And actually we were on Manchester and Inglewood since 12 o'clock last night, looking at it, waiting for it, and moved 1 block in 3 hours.
At around 7:30, the shuttle crawls around the corner, and people say the sight is definitely worth waking up for on a Saturday morning.
This is a historical moment. This is once in a lifetime.
It's huge. That's about it's really big and it's amazing to see.
Before the shuttle continues its trip through LA, astronaut Gregory Johnson, who piloted the Endeavour, took a moment to tell us what it's like to fly into space.
Sensory overload, sound, light, acceleration, vibration. It was a crazy ride.
The shuttle has started its trek again through the city and over to the Science Center.
Endeavour was scheduled to get to the Science Center at Exposition Park around 8 o'clock that night, but the trip was delayed.
Well, there's been about a 5.5-hour delay, so it might get here around 1 in the morning.
Despite this information, some people are deciding to stay at Exposition Park and wait for the shuttle.
We're here until it comes in. Until it comes in. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, we're here until it comes in.
How about 5 o'clock in the morning?
Fine.
Yes. I have to have those pictures for my grandson.
But the shuttle didn't arrive at 1 in the morning, and even at 5 in the morning, the runway toward its resting place was still empty. And again, people were waiting all morning long for the Endeavour's arrival. Emily Davies was there to catch the final leg of the trip.
Many of the people who said they would stay as long as it takes didn't. But these ladies did.
It's going to be a relief, but it's going to be great too.
I agree. I'm just, again, just still so excited. It's history. You can't not be excited about it.
All of that waiting paid off. By noon, 16 hours after its scheduled arrival, the space shuttle finally makes an appearance. It took Endeavour another 2 hours of squeezing around buildings and trees to make it to this point. The total time and delays was about 17 hours.
At one point, I know they had a hydraulic fluid leak, and I saw them cleaning that up, and I knew that was a little bit of a delay. But I think the big delay was trying to get the giant shuttle with its 78-foot wingspan through all those trees on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
But who is going to pay for the extra crews and overtime?
The Science Center is raising the money, and they've committed. We have an agreement that will be fully compensated for our costs. And so we'll hold them to that.
Despite that setback, the shuttle made its way onto the steel plates and into the temporary hangar.
After 25 missions to outer space and 4,671 orbits around planet Earth, Endeavour has completed its final voyage, mission number 26.
That was Emily Davies reporting. The Endeavour will be on display for the public at the California Science Center at the end of this month. The center hopes to have a permanent structure for it by 2017, where the shuttle will be in an upright position. Anyone who plans to visit the museum should reserve tickets early to avoid waiting in line. Back to you in the studio.